Hi everybody. I apologize that I sound a little rough. I've been having some sinus issues for the last 3 weeks, and that's why I haven't really made any videos. But I'm starting to feel better, so here we go. I wanted to talk today about recovering from breakdowns. And there's a lot of things that go on just before a breakdown, during a breakdown, and after. There's a theory as to why people have them, and a lot of times it has a lot to do with pushing things down for so long. And if you think of it like this, your brain is like a dam, and you push everything back, and you try to hold everything back, and you just concentrate on moving forward, moving away from the abuse, moving away from the memories, and moving away from everything that is emotionally hard for you. That's what I did. And as the years went by, the stuff that I kept putting in the back of my mind just became more and more and more and more, and it just kept growing. And after a while, it starts to, like, the dam starts to crack a little bit, and then you see personality changes in yourself and in your system, and you see how they start reacting to this. There's increased irritability, there's increased insomnia, increased in eating disorders, as the breakdown prepares. I guess that's the best way I can describe it, at least for me. Mind you, everything that I'm saying is based on research that I have done on breakdowns, healing from breakdowns, what to expect after breakdown, and also based on my own experience from the time that I started noticing that things were just not right with me in December of 2009, when I noticed that there was a marked increase in my anxiety and my agoraphobia. I started missing a lot of work because I just couldn't leave the house. It wasn't that I didn't want to go to work, I just couldn't leave the house. So these things built up, and over the course of, what was that, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Over the course of the next 8 months, I noticed that I became angrier, and I would snap at Melissa easily, and I would try to withdraw from my friends, and I tried to just be away from everything because I felt like my skin was just this conduit of sensitivity, and everything that I experienced was just amplified. And there basically wasn't anything I could do to stop it. And it just built, just stacked and got worse. And then when I had the actual breakdown, it was so weird because it was August 17th, 2010, and I remember I went to work that day. I woke up and I just knew that something wasn't right. I just knew. And I remember distinctly after the staff meeting that I heard this snap, this, like a twig breaking. And that was it. And just like in a dam, when a dam bursts, there's so little you can do if you don't catch it in time. You just have to watch it. And that's what happened, is I just watched it. I was crying and I couldn't stop. So then this inertia built up. All of this building up, and then the break, and then there's this inertia that carries you. And you feel like you're standing still and crashing through everything because you're moving so fast at the same time. And you want to laugh and cry, and you just want to isolate yourself completely. Because whereas everything was so sensitive before, has now become excruciatingly sensitive. I remember that light, just a little bit of light, caused migraines. And I remember that food just tasted offensive because it was so intense. And I remember thinking that every sound I heard would just split my head open. And it just went on like that for months. Man, it was well over a year before any of that even started to slow down. I hated it. I hated every minute of it. But then it did start to slow down. It did start to slow down. But I'm still sensitive to light, and I'm still very sensitive to sound, but I've learned to work around it. I've learned to adapt to it. I know that there are certain things that I can't do anymore. Things that I could do before, like stand outside on my front porch. I can't do that anymore. There are certain foods I can't eat because my stomach is so crazy. And there are, it's about adapting to who you are now. You will never get back who you were. There's a complete break in that person. I've accepted that. It took me a few months. It took me quite a while to accept it. But I did. I accepted that who I was before isn't going to be the person I am now. And Melissa has accepted that as well. And we're just trying to move forward. My anxiety and my agoraphobia are still there, and those are things that I will always work on. But when you're one thing to remember as you're dealing with a breakdown, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It really doesn't. I'm not going to be cliche and say it's because you were so strong for so long. Even though I do believe that. But a breakdown, I think, is necessary sometimes. When you're in a situation where you're moving so fast forward to try to not deal with what happened, it is your body's way of saying, look, you're a lot more mature now. You are a lot better at understanding and evaluating what happened. You're better equipped at breaking it apart and trying to focus on healing from it instead of trying to pick it apart and figure out why it happened. So your body and your mind work together to finally make you stop. Because as much as it sucks, things that happened, we have to deal with them. We have to work to accept that they happened, and we have to work to accept that we will never understand why. So I do see my breakdown as something that was very beneficial to me, because it made me stop. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.